Good morning, everybody, and welcome. This is the regular meeting of the Mason County Commission for February 13th, 2024. We're going to go ahead and begin with the Pledge of Allegiance. Ken Van Buskirk, would you do us the honor of leading us in the pledge?
Sure. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner District 1, Randy Netherland.
I'm here.
Commissioner District 2, Kevin Schutte.
Here.
Commissioner District 3, Sharon Trask.
I'm here.
All are present. Next item up, item number 4, is correspondence and organizational business.
United States Fish and Wildlife sent in a copy of the 12-month findings on gray wolves in the western United States. Advisory board applications were received from the following: Stephanie Herman for the Lewis Mason Thurston Area Agency on Aging, and Tiffany Valderas for the Housing and Behavioral Health Advisory Board. Washington State Liquor and Cannabis Board sent in a notice of liquor license discontinuation for Rite Aid. Washington State Department of Transportation sent in notice of public hearing regarding the State Route 3 Freight Corridor new alignment. Federal Energy Regulatory Commission sent in acknowledgments for the Public Safety Plan 2023 revision Cushman project, 2023 Annual Dam Safety Inspection follow-up items plan and schedule Cushman project, and 10-year Spillway Gate Inspection Report recommendation status updates Cushman Dam 1 and 2 for the Cushman project. And the United States Department of the Interior and United States Fish and Wildlife sent in a status review on the Oregon Vesper Sparrow status assessment and request for information.
Excellent. Any other correspondence or organizational business you want to bring forward?
That is everything.
All right. Next up is open forum for citizens input. This is your opportunity to speak to the commission on any item that is not on the agenda. If it's on the agenda, we ask that you wait. You'll be given an opportunity to speak at that time. But if it is not on the agenda, please, we'll ask you to raise your hand to come forward so we can acknowledge you. There's a 3-minute maximum. Please keep it within 3 minutes. Because we have a 15-minute time limit for everybody. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and recognize those in the room first and then give the opportunity to those that are in Zoom. So at this point in time, is there anybody in the room here that would like to speak to the commission on an issue not on the agenda? Please come forward, say your name and perhaps where you're from.
I'm gonna have to start a timer for you, so.
My name is Lisa McKelvey Smith, live out on Beerbauer. And the reason I'm here is because Kevin had a crew come out to fix our road again. And I want to let you know that that's been less than a week ago, and the road has gone to hell in a handbasket again. First off, they didn't bring out enough gravel. They brought out a roller, and we have 3.5 miles of gravel road. And they brought out 1 to 2 trucks of gravel, I believe. They said they were going to try to get out 3. However, they only have 1 truck. They're sending it out to the gravel pit, bringing the gravel out. I think it's 1 truck. And nothing's being done. So we talked to the crew. And they were like, you know, we get up to our meeting at 7:30, we're told where to go, what to do. And we were told to come out here and lay down this gravel, and they didn't even roll out the entire road. So now when you drive down the road, you have potholes, and it's a huge mud slick. It's awful again. It's not just potholes, but the way that they're handling it, because nothing's being done right. I don't know where any of you live, and truly I don't care. But if you lived on 3.5 miles of gravel road, I'm pretty sure you'd care. Because we do live out there, and we know that it's going to be paved at the end of August. But until August, the wear and tear on our vehicles, that's horrendous. I mean, there's just not a lot I can say except if you're going to send somebody out, could you send them out to do the job correctly? It doesn't make any good sense why you keep sending people out to do maybe a mile of the road, and then the rest of the road is just left. And it doesn't get done, so then it gets bad, and then they're coming back out and they're trying to correct it. It's not going to get corrected until you guys send out the correct crew with the correct equipment and the correct amount of gravel, bottom line.
Thank you. Is there anybody else who would like to speak to the commission and the community on an issue that is not on the agenda in the room?
Oh, I'd like to. My name is Reed Taylor, live at the same address. I've run a business for a lot of years, and first and foremost, if you're gonna do a job, do it properly. Don't do it half-tail-ended, all right? If you come out and you spend the time and the effort and the equipment to bring all that out there, why do it partially? It just doesn't make any good sense to me to come out, bring 1, maybe 2, maybe 3 truckloads of gravel, put it down, have the roller out there, and then not roll it properly. I mean, this is a situation, and again, you know, our vehicles, yes, but what really concerns me now, where they graded it, and they didn't put any gravel between the hatchery and where you guys stopped the gravel, is a mud hole, and it is dangerous. You know, there's elderly people that live out there, we have people that are handicapped and disabled. They get stuck out there, there's no phone service. This is, you know, and I'm starting to sound like a broken record, it's very frustrating to me. I understand that there are certain things, but when the crew that's out there tells me we only have 1 dump truck that's in running order in Mason County, I call BS, y'all. Something's just not right here. And I don't know if it's somebody on the other end of the spectrum that just doesn't give a tail end, but like I've stated, bring your own personal vehicles down there. It's a whole nother realm of mess. I mean, I don't have the opportunity to be able to take my vehicle into the county office to have it worked on. You guys do. But to do this, and I half-tail-ended, it makes no good sense. They should have just left it alone to begin with, rather than grading everything and turning it into a bigger mud hole and a soup sandwich. I understand there's money limited. I understand there's certain aspects of what needs to be done. But if you're gonna do it correctly the first time. Don't send a crew out 4, 5, 6 times and not ever have it get done right. It just doesn't make any good sense to me. It's a waste of our money. It's a waste of your guys' time. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anybody else in the room? Ken?
Ken Van Buskirk, I live Davis Farm Road in Belfair. And after listening to these folks, I wanted to talk about a couple projects up in Belfair that I want to discuss about being on the tip cap array. But that one sounds like something that the tip cap committee should be recommending for certain. But there's two potential road projects I know of up in the Belfair urban growth area. One is the plan to raise Roselle Road because the Fish and Wildlife Service is going to build some sort of a new dike out there. That road, Roselle Road, has a minimal amount of use to it. And the other is the 4-way intersection that I talked about last week there in Belfair. It's already at a failing level of service according to the state, and I'd like to see those put on the...
I'm sorry, I didn't hear, which one?
The 4-way intersection.
Oh, okay.
That's in conjunction with SR 300. Yeah, I'd like to see both of those prioritized, but it sounds like this one's a pretty big priority too. And the other thing I wanted to mention was 20 years ago, I remember standing in these chambers and it was packed. This wall wasn't here, and the commission was set to approve the sub-area plan. And the big stumbling block was whether to widen Highway 3 first or build the bypass. And at that time, the commissioners decided, we presented them with a petition with close to 2,000 signatures to build the bypass first. And they decided not to do that. They wanted to widen Highway 3. And unfortunately, Highway 3 never got widened all the way. It's still a bottleneck. So here we are right on the edge of having the freight corridor done. And I'm just hoping that we can all work together and see this thing through. It's gonna be a wonderful legacy for our community, our children and our grandchildren. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Is there anybody else in the room that would like to speak to the commission and the public on an item that is not on the agenda? Anybody? Hearing none, I will move to the Zoom land. Is there anybody in the Zoom room who would like to speak to the commission or the community on an issue that is not on the agenda? If so, please raise your hand. I see no hands raised. If you don't know how to do that and you'd like to speak, please unmute, say your name, and I'll call on you. Hearing none, we will move on to item number 6, which is the adoption of today's agenda.
Mr. Chair, I move adoption of today's agenda as presented.
I'll second.
It has been moved and seconded for the adoption of today's agenda as presented. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? The ayes have it. Next up, approval of the minutes.
Mr. Chair, I move to approve the January 2nd, January 16th, and January 30th, 2024 regular minutes, and January 8th, January 15th, January 22nd, and January 29th, 2024 briefing minutes.
Second?
It has been moved and seconded for the approval of the minutes for January 2nd, January 16th, and January 30th of the 2024 regular minutes, and January 8th, January 15th, January 22nd, and January 29th of the 2024 briefing minutes as presented. Are there any additions to pools? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, the motion carries. Next up is the approval of the action agenda. All items listed on the action agenda will be read to the public and put into the record. After which, when we do that, you'll be given an opportunity to ask a question to decide whether it's something you want taken off for a separate vote. Or if you want it taken off for a separate vote, you'll let us know at that point and we'll take it off and we'll talk about that specifically and separately. With that being said, I'm going to read item number 8.1 through 8.5. Commissioner Trask, if you could read 8.6 through 8.11, and Commissioner Schutte, if you could read the remainder. Item number 8.1, approval of the warrants and treasurer's electronic remittance claims clearing fund warrants number 8102575 through 8102788, the amount $8,727,690.38. Direct deposit fund warrants number 103-739, 104 or through 104-137, the amount $855,147. Salary clearing fund warrants number 7007917 through 7007953, the amount $1,186,504.99. Treasurer's electronic remittance $5,506,604.68. Item number 8.2, approval of the chair to sign the 2023 climate planning grant with the Department of Commerce for the amount of $125,000. Item number 8.3, approval of resolution amending resolution number 2022-057, Mason County Utilities and Waste cash drawer, increasing each cash drawer amount from $400 to $500. Item number 8.4, approval to set a public hearing for Tuesday, March 12th at 9:15 a.m. to review and approve amendments to the Mason County Code, Chapter 6.68, Water Adequacy Regulations. Item number 8.5, approval to set a public hearing for Tuesday, March 12th, 2024 at 9:15 a.m. to review and approve amendments to Mason County Code Section 17.03.020 regarding water supply requirements.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Item 8.6, approval to set a public hearing for Tuesday, March 12th, 2024 at 9:15 to consider the 2024 through 2029 Capital Improvement Program, Appendix A. Item 8.7, approval for the clerk, for the chair to sign the interlocal agreements between Mason County Public Works and Squaxin Island Tribe, Pioneer School Districts, Skokomish Indian Tribe, Mason Conservation District, Mason Transit Authority, Department of Natural Resources, Washington State Patrol, City of Tacoma Public Utilities, Port of Hoodsport, City of Shelton, Port of Grapeview, and Port of Allen for reimbursable work, supplies, and services. Item 8.8, approval for the county administrator to execute a temporary license agreement with Advanced Technology Construction Corporation for culvert improvement work to the United States Navy Railroad. Item 8.9, approval of the interlocal agreement with Cowlitz County, allowing Mason County to use Cowlitz County landfill as a disposal site for all acceptable solid waste generated in Mason County. Item 8.10, approval of the contract with Mason County Garbage Incorporated for solid waste long-haul transportation services. Item 8.11, approval of the updated purchase amount from Wildwood Playgrounds Northwest for the Sand Hill Playground equipment to include the cost of a concrete barrier for $13,527 for the total cost of $151,854.43.
Item 8.12, approval of the letter of support for funding design sewer treatment and collection system infrastructure with sufficient capacity to serve a significant portion of the Puget Sound Industrial Center and Mason County Belfair urban growth area. Item 8.13, approval for the chair to sign the professional services contract with the Economic Development Council for up to $99,000, and approval for the chair to sign the memorandum of understanding with the City of Shelton for the satellite wastewater treatment plant headworks upgrades project for up to $125,000, both funded from the sales and use tax .09 fund at number 103 in the 2024 budget. Item 8.14, approval of the resolution amending the Mason County personnel policy to update overall grammar and formatting, allowing extra help employees to receive holiday compensation. Chapter 4.1, defining the work week to be consistent with the collective bargaining agreements. Chapter 4.2, updating the Fair Labor Standards Act exempt employee language. Chapter 5.4, clarifying the reclassification process. Chapter 5.7, streamlining language for compensation upon separation. Chapter 7.9.1, eliminating extra language around premiums and applicable law. Chapter 7.11, defining holiday pay benefit. Chapter 7.14, adding temporary modified duty assignments. And Chapter 19, adding an artificial intelligence policy. Item 8.15, approval of the resolution authorizing retroactive payment for specific 2023 exempt employees that were classified as exempt but did not meet the salary threshold rule and should have been classified as non-exempt. And 8.16, approval to appoint Stephanie Herman to the Lewis Mason Thurston Area Agency on Aging Advisory Council for a 2-year term expiring February 13th, 2026.
Excellent. Thank you, Commissioners. Now that all these items have been read into the record, are there any items that you have any questions on that would help you to decide whether to have it taken off for a separate vote? Any in Zoom land? I have one. We had an item to set up for the grant for the climate planning grant. We asked that, is that the one we asked to come back for a review with the commission before coming on the agenda, or is this a different one?
I think we didn't have the contract yet from
Yeah, and
Ecology.
From Department of
That's what I
Commerce.
thought, and I thought we had asked for it to come back to our briefing first. That's,
I didn't.
because I wanted to see the contract and go over it, not just have it put in there, yes.
The contract was sent, however, we didn't get the final financial approval from Commerce, so it was pulled and now it's just being brought back forward because we got that final.
Okay, so the contract has never changed, we just waited for the final.
Yes.
Is there anybody else that has any other questions to help them decide whether to take an item off for a separate vote? Hearing none, is there any items you would like taken off for a separate vote? Anybody in the room first? Is there, oh, Greg Zipnicki. Hello, on the Zoom land, Greg, can you unmute and,
Yes, I would like to have 8.12 taken off and voted separately.
okay. 8.12. Is there any other items anybody would like taken off for a separate vote? Hearing none, I will entertain a motion.
Mr. Chair, I move approval of today's action agenda items 8.1 through 8.16 with the exception of 8.12, which is removed for a separate discussion and vote.
I'll second.
It has been moved and seconded for the approval of the action agenda, items 8.1 through 8.16, with the removal of 8.12, which will be removed for a separate vote. With that being said, are there any comments or anything from the chair, from the board?
No, just great job by staff. We've got some things on here that have taken a while to discuss and work through, and want to thank our staff and the parties that were involved for all their time, dedication, and detailed work on these things. So.
Sorry, I was having a sidebar with our attorney.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with all that. It's, to be able to sign a 10-year deal, on our long haul is a great accomplishment for the county, and staff was really thorough in working through a lot of the issues that we had. It's tough when you change horses after 30 years, and so, figuring out what the new partnership looks like, and I think whenever we raised a concern, staff worked hard to overcome it. Tim was a great asset in that as well, and so just look forward to a fruitful partnership with you all over the next decade.
And I like the same thing, and a lot of hard work that went into this, and appreciate everybody's patience in getting it done. And I don't usually get a chance to do it, but Tim, thank you for over there on that side. A lot of work went into this on your behalf, without a doubt. And I believe that what we have is a finished product I'm very secure with, and I feel like our county's been well taken care of and protected. So an extra special thank you. With that being said, anything further? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it. Next up is item 8.12. Who would like to brief on that one?
Would you like to brief on that, or would you like me to brief on that?
I can, either way.
Go ahead.
All right.
I can. Actually, you wrote it. You can.
Yeah, we did, yeah.
I'll be very brief. We received a request from the city of Bremerton and the Suquamish tribe to submit a letter of support for a legislative request under the capital budget. And the request is for approximately $3 million. And the purpose for the $3 million is to plan and design improvements to our water reclamation facility. And I believe that was on the order of about 1.3 million. I don't have all the details up, but I think 1.3. And the other portion, the remaining balance of that request, is to plan and design for, I believe, 2 lift stations within the city of Bremerton and a collection system within the city of Bremerton that is just on the other side of the Mason County border to serve southern basins of the Puget Sound Industrial Center, or PSIC. And this is, the request was a continuation of agreements that we've had for, since at least 6 years now, where we had mutually agreed to plan for serving the Puget Sound Industrial Center, and this is a continuation of that.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
So, hold on, does anybody in the, anybody in the room have any questions for staff regarding the presentation?
I do.
Oh.
Sure, sorry. Was it not for us?
I was just asking the public first, but that's,
yeah, no,
that's all right. Is there anybody in Zoom, you take precedence.
Just put me in the queue.
Yeah. Is there anybody in Zoom that has a question for staff regarding their presentation? If so, please unmute and say your name or raise your hand. Okay, Commissioner.
Oh, Ken.
Oh, Ken.
Yeah,
Sorry.
This isn't a grant, this is a state legislature thing. There's nothing on the hook for Mason County,
It would be an appropriation, so let's.
directly to Mason County.
It would actually go towards the city of Bremerton.
Okay.
And then, from there, I'm not sure how an agreement would work, but a portion of
the planning
it,
portion in Mason County would be paid for by this.
by the grant, that's
Okay.
correct.
Thank you.
Ken, yes.
Go ahead.
Thank you. So Loretta, I appreciate the briefing this morning. The things that we have outlined in here, just to confirm, are they in any of our capital facility plans?
They are,
Okay.
yes.
Including the one that we just adopted today?
That is correct.
Okay.
Yes, now let me clarify that.
Sure.
The items that are related to our facilities are in
Correct.
our capital facilities plan, yes. We need to plan for spray field expansion. We need to plan for expanding our water reclamation facility. Those are things that we've already identified as a need, whether anything happens in PSIC or not, we need to do that, yes.
And then currently, as the CFP sits today, how are those projects to be funded separate from this ask?
We do not have any secured funding at this time, and that would be a plan, for example, if this request is not successful, we would be applying through the Department of Ecology grant program, so yeah.
So currently, no,
No,
We do have funds that we've received from connection fees that are within the Belfair Sewer
Yes.
Fund.
Yes,
that could be
absolutely.
utilized for
A
this type of
match,
work.
yeah.
Yep.
Yep. Yeah.
Okay, are there any other questions? Hearing none, we'll go ahead and open it up. Is there anybody, thank you, Loretta.
Yep.
Is there anybody who would like to testify on this? Anybody in the room? Yes, Ken.
Thank you. Ken Van Buskirk from Belfair. I'm pretty familiar with the Belfair sewer system and issues, and I requested a copy of that letter from Mayor Wheeler last week after I heard about it in the briefing, and read through it, and I think it is probably one of the best and most efficient uses of money that we can do to try to make it coordinate with the freight corridor. So that's my opinion. Thank you.
Is there anybody else who would like to testify in the room first? Hearing none, is there anybody on Zoom that would like to testify at this point? Hearing none, I will open it up for discussion or a motion.
Mr. Chair, I move approval of item 8.12.
I'll second.
It has moved and second for approval of item 8.12. I have to do it the other way. Approval of the letter of support for funding the design, sewer treatment, and collections system infrastructure with sufficient capacity to serve significant portion of the Puget Sound Industrial Center, PSIC, and Mason County Urban, Belfair Urban Growth Area, UGA. Comments? I'll go ahead and go first. I am gonna vote no, but not because of the letter that was put forward. I need to give a special thank you to Commissioner Trask. What you put forward took away 90% of any of the worries that I had with what was going forward. You included in there that we're not promising that we're hooking up. There's a process to go through. We have to look at our capacities. The only thing, I just don't believe we should be going up through PSIC with the system, but the work you did with that, I had a hard time even voting no if I did, because you did a spectacular job, and I believe that your work protected our community a lot. So with that being said, that's where I'm gonna land on it. Anybody else wanna make a comment?
Sure, yeah, I'll also thank Commissioner Trask. I think she did a fantastic job outlining what I think the position has always been and putting it into words and articulating it very clearly. And so, I will be supporting the letter today. I think it's, when we work with the legislature, sometimes you have to get these things in front of them, a session or two early, and allow some of those conversations to continue to happen regionally and at the state level in order to secure funding. And so this is us getting in the legislative hopper, so to speak, in order to advocate for funding. $1.3 million in funding from the state for Belfair Sewer is great. If we can get that, I think if it's grant, all the better, to be able to do this important work that we've identified as something that we're gonna have to do regardless of a partnership with Bremerton. And so just really appreciate our staff and their continued work on this and trying to work government to government with Bremerton and partners on the Kitsap side. And then I also just want to thank Congressman Kilmer for his support of this as well. We received a nice letter from him yesterday, explaining the benefits that this would have for our region and our nation's defense mission with the United States Navy and their presence in Kitsap. And so always try to be on the side of supporting our military and the work that they have to do in our region. And so if there's a benefit to them because of this, that's even better. But just to tie it up, I guess, Commissioner Trask, thanks for putting the effort into that letter and getting it squared away. And I'm happy to support it and send it off to our legislative delegation.
Well, it was teamwork. Wasn't me alone for sure. Expressed concerns and we've got an amazing team of people here. So I want to thank you all for everything that you did on this. And you listened to all three of us, which was so important. I think that's how an effective commission can make things happen. And so I want to thank my seatmates for expressing their concerns and for your support. And I look forward to working with the legislature and expanding, getting our spray field fixed and being able to move more, have more economic development also into our county. I think that's a priority for all of us. It'll help with the services that we provide our county. So I'll end it there.
Okay, anything further? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Nay? The ayes have it. All right, next up is other business, department heads and elected officials. Are there any? As he sneaks out. That's funny.
Wait, Tim.
Are there any department heads or elected officials who would like to speak now to the community and the commission? Yes,
Is it
please.
okay, commissioners?
Yep,
I'll
please,
make it-
over
I'll
there.
make it quick. Commissioners, I just want to take a moment to thank and recognize Republic Services for 30 years and also Mason County Garbage. So they've been partners for a long time in handling something that we all take for granted, our solid waste, and still until things don't work. And we've got garbage stacking up and piling up, and what do we do, and potential health hazards, and I cannot thank either of them enough for the fantastic service for the last 30 years. And Republic's been great in taking a look forward and being, when you think logistics, well, logistics are huge, and that just seems like a simple word, but there is a ton that goes into that. And Steve has been great about forward thinking about things that could cause ripples in our system and have huge impacts and effects, and just been a great partner. So just want to take a moment and say appreciation for both of those folks. And then for the Taylors, I do say that you are correct that this is just not the time of year to be working on gravel roads. And we were clear about that up front, and we are doing our absolute best to take care of things and do a Band-Aid. And I'm sorry it's not been satisfactory, but we've had our A-team out there, our seasoned operators, and we've got the right materials and equipment. It's just a cruddy time of year to be doing work on a gravel road. And that's about all I have to say about that.
You should really face us when you're speaking.
Yeah, sorry.
Laura, can I just ask one question based on the
Sure.
the earlier testimony?
Yep.
I think Reed mentioned that there was only one operable dump truck in the county. Can you speak to that?
Yeah, that is not true.
So we were lied to.
I don't know that that's a fact. I mean, sometimes folks have a different understanding. It may be one operable, available piece of equipment, given what the other work was that we need to be doing. And this is not the only priority. We have, I know, one dump truck that was in service. And certainly we've been doing a ton of shoulder work elsewhere that is necessary this time of year.
And I'm not
we've
doubting
had
that.
trucks and pups
So
going.
this is a subject that will continue after we're off the clock. Is this
Yeah,
not
but
the
I
best-
just want to,
Yeah,
yep.
thank you.
Yep.
Anything further?
Nope,
All
nothing
right,
for me.
thank you. All right, is there any other department head or elected official who would like to speak? We're looking at the one. Okay. You're not gonna sneak out like Tim did, huh? All right, yes.
Auditor Dunkel.
Oh, there's one online. Mr. Dunkel.
Hey, good morning, Commissioners. It's your humble auditor, Steve here. I just want to remind everybody it's Election Day. So be sure you get your ballot deposited in a drop box before 8 p.m. or brought down to the elections office before 8 p.m. And if you use the Postal Service, make sure your ballot gets postmarked for today so that it's counted. And so want to just pass that encouragement along to your friends, your relatives, even people you don't like. We want to get everybody out to vote. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Any other department heads or elected officials? Before we go, because of the other conversation, I too wanted to thank Republic. They've been great partners. They gave us extension after extension after extension. They just contacted you to make good chance for arrangements. So with that, I want to make sure everybody knows, they've been a great partner for a long time, and we very much appreciate them.
Yeah, perhaps we can send them a letter, just saying thank you.
absolutely.
Actually, yes, please. All right, anything further on that? Hearing none, we're going to go ahead and move on to the next item on our agenda, which is a public hearing. It's a public hearing to consider amending Mason County Code Section 16.40.0411A relating to boundary line adjustments. Staff, Luke, and we'll open it up with testimony from our staff, please.
Marissa. Oh, it's Luke, sorry.
Morning, Commissioners.
Good morning.
Too much to add to what Kel briefed you on about a month ago, but this code section was amended previously, and then it was challenged, and so we're looking to have it re-amended back to the way it originally was. That way we can do better public notice to make sure that there is both more comprehensive public notice on this code change, as well as more comprehensive amendments to any of our codes around boundary line adjustments.
Okay, is there anybody in the room that has any questions for staff regarding their testimony, their introduction? Anybody on Zoom that has a question for staff regarding this issue? Please unmute, say your name. Hearing none, we will go ahead and we will move into testimony. Is there anybody in the room that would like to testify on this issue before us? Is there anybody in the room who would like to testify on this issue before us? There are none. Is there anybody in Zoom land that would like to testify on this issue regarding the code change? Is there anybody in Zoom that would like to testify regarding the code change? If so, unmute yourself and say your name so we can call on you. Hearing none, we will go ahead and close public testimony and move into commissioner deliberations and or a motion.
Mr. Chair, I would like to get to the right screen. I would like to approve the ordinance amending Mason County Code Section 16.40.0411A relating to boundary line adjustments.
Second?
It has been moved and seconded for the approval of the ordinance amending Mason County Code, section 16.40.041, section 1A, relating to boundary line adjustments. Any further discussion?
Yeah, just a quick comment. So thanks to Luke and Marissa and Kel and our planning department on bringing this forward to us today again. And then just for the commission, I did have a conversation with Kel last week about some potential changes to this now that we've reset the ordinance itself to allow for to have her bring forward for discussion about lots that go from non-conforming to non-conforming and the process that we use to address those. So I look forward to more conversation on that. I think if a lot moves from non-conforming to conforming, that's great, administrative approval that way. But maybe have some discussion around what we do with lots that go from non-conforming to remain non-conforming, and just how we get some more public engagement on those types of situations and that kind of thing. So we'll be supporting this, but look forward to more conversation now that we've reset the ordinance, or will reset the ordinance, and we can kind of go forward on a clean slate.
And I'll say that I had some of the same concerns. They made me feel better with what they're doing. This is an attempt to get them to where they can utilize those properties better, but we had to do it in this manner in order to get there. So I very much appreciate all their work on that, and I look forward also to further discussions so we can see how we can make it better. Anything from you?
No.
All in
Get her
favor
done.
signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? The motion carries. The hearing is closed. All right, next up, we're gonna go ahead and go for our commission calendars. Commissioner Trask, if you wouldn't mind leading us off, and then Commissioner Schutte, then myself.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Tonight is the freight corridor public hearing. It's also, I want to make sure that people know that this is also available online, so you can go online, make your comments. If you're not able to attend I guess it's not a public hearing, it's an open house. So, it's also my husband's birthday today, so happy birthday, Ted. Tomorrow morning we have our local emergency planning meeting, the Senior Meals Shelton grand opening. That's at the United Methodist Church tomorrow. LSC roundtable. Tomorrow is also Valentine's Day, so don't forget to give your sweetie a hug. LSC meeting on Thursday. Public Works Executive Committee meeting. Public Works traditional, I'm not on that committee anymore, now I'm on the broadband committee meeting, or broadband committee, so they meet an hour earlier. Also want to, wish Mark Neary a birthday, his birthday's Saturday.
Thanks.
You're welcome. Monday is President's Day. Everybody have a nice long weekend. We have our Mason Transit meeting on Tuesday, I have a Turning Point fundraising meeting. And then Pack Mountain, we will be in Grand Mound or Chehalis area on Wednesday and Thursday. It's our board meeting and winter retreat. I don't know why they call them a winter retreats, because my idea of a retreat is getting away from things. Definitely
Never
not
thought
that
of
way.
it that way. Yeah.
Be back here for the sheriff's breakfast. This event on Friday, the 23rd. I want to make sure that everybody knows what's going on there. It's our WIC grand opening, and so please go to the YMCA on Friday the 23rd at 10:30 and show your support and welcome back WIC to our community. LSC, Wasac LSC update. We have a very special friend getting married on the 24th, and there's also a crab feed on the 24th. Want to wish a special friend, Jason, happy birthday on the 25th. And then we're back here for our briefings.
Excellent. Mr. Chair, going forward today, I have a meeting with Allison Smith from Olympic College, and then I have a MACECOM Board of Directors meeting, Criminal Justice Working Team, and then a meeting that is happening with the State Healthcare Authority about opioid settlement funds, and then our IT Steering Committee, Thurston Mason Behavioral Health Administrative Service Organization Succession Planning meeting later this week. Also be popping in to wish Mark a very happy birthday on Friday. Can't wait to see how they celebrate you here. So, as Commissioner Trask noted, President's Day weekend, and then I have a sit down with our Human Resources team, Mason Transit Board meeting, meeting with Holly James from the Peninsula Alliance to talk about housing opportunities in our community. And then a Hood Canal Coordinating Council Board of Directors meeting. Also have a meeting with Green Diamond where I'm sure they have a few things they want to talk to me about, but I also have a few things that I want to talk to them about, particularly their road usage. Good opportunity to bring that front and center to them as well. Let's see. Also be at the ribbon cutting for WIC. What a tremendous opportunity and exciting time for our community to bring that back, and in partnership with the YMCA and Mason Health. I know that I passed the flyer that we got onto my wife, and she was able to get that up all over the place at Mason Health. And I think there's a lot of excitement for providers up there to be able to have another resource for their patients. So super cool to see that happening and coming back. Let's see. Briefings, then on the 26th, and then my bi-weekly check-in with leadership at the BHASO before our next commission meeting on the 27th.
Okay. A few things from the last couple of weeks or so. I did meet with our Public Works Director in regards to some of the RIDs that we're working on, and that was a wonderful meeting. I wanted to give her props for that because definitely thinking outside the box and looking at opportunities. I also met with Holly James for housing stuff, Peninsula Regional Transportation Organization, Rotary. Attended a candidate function, somebody running for superintendent of schools. We had our sheriff's office and Mason County, North Mason grand opening. That was a wonderful event. The things that are going to happen, that are happening there, just warms my heart, especially for my community. Being able to provide more services eventually is the greatest thing. I've attended quite a few meetings for the Port of Allen, both on a regular meeting, special meeting, but also behind the scenes. We've been meeting together to try and help them work through some of the issues that have occurred, especially with their budget and stuff. Special thank you to some of the community members like Jeff Carey and such that have stood up to try and help them through this process. Left board meeting, short-term rental. She's gone. She was sitting there. We had a short-term rental workshop that was, I think, one of the best workshops I've ever been a part of in my 12 years here. She did a spectacular job. We have so many different options and opportunities and the ability to look at more. And again, people that watch this understand it's not just a thing we're trying just to tax somebody. We're trying to protect the property rights of them and those that are around them both, so that we can find a way for everybody to work together. But with the presentation our staff did, I think we were all just blown away. Attended Sheriff's Breakfast also, Rotary meetings coming up. I have a meeting with the constituents tonight from the Tahuya River area. They're asking for some help out there. We have a bypass meeting tonight about the school district with the state regarding the bypass. I'll be attending that. Rotary meetings, Peninsula Regional Transportation Organization meeting, ORCA, Olympic Regional Clean Air Authority, finance meeting, Mason Transit Authority, North Mason Chamber of Commerce, Canvassing Board, the YMCA ribbon cutting. And again, thank you, Commissioner, because she was a catalyst in bringing that back to our community. And it's been, if not the biggest cheerleader of all, it actually worked and got it there. So there's a lot of people going to be helping. And then another canvassing board meeting to certify. That should bring us back and we start all over again. With that being said, is there anything further, Commissioners?
Move we adjourn.
Oh, hold on.
Just want to clarify, the meeting for the freight corridor is at North Mason High School at 5 p.m.
Okay. He gave us wrong information yesterday.
I did. I said 4:30 because I put travel time in there, so.
Okay,
I have
I
to
think,
leave it for it.
I think I still have a motion on the floor.
Oh, you do?
Okay, it's been moved to adjourn.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that we adjourn. Hearing no objection, we are adjourned.
Never withdraw a motion to adjourn.